welcome everyone formally to our first webinar of the 2023 season. Today is going to be a good one. I think we're ready to get things rolling here. My name is Devin Rang, Vice President of Business Development here at SpinuTech. I'll be moderating today's webinar and kind of taking care of some of the housekeeping stuff as we go along. Real quick, for those of you who don't know, SpinuTech is a full-service digital agency with offices in Cedar Falls and Des Moines, Iowa, and Tampa, Florida. We also have remote team members in more than 20 states. Our crew of more than 160 team members helps clients build unique customer experiences to grow traffic, convert leads, and track their entire marketing funnel in one spot. So whether you are already a partner of ours, just looking to kind of gain some education as we start the new year here, or we're meeting for the first time, we hope that you learned something today and truly look forward to continuing the conversation beyond today's discussion. Okay, now that we've got some of that general housekeeping stuff out of the way, let's dive in. Today, we have not one, not two, but four of our outstanding, amazing team members here to share some perspectives on important trends impacting their areas of expertise this year. 2023 is already shaping up to be a year full of both challenges and innovations in the digital marketing space. And we're glad you've decided to join us today to kind of dive in and explore some of those topics. So without further ado, let's introduce the roster today. First up, we've got Mark Villalobos, our Associate Director of Paid Media. We also have Taylor Fisher, one of our SEO team leads and just downright great person. Thank you for joining, Taylor. We have Megan McAtasney, the brilliant content specialist. She is our Director of Content Strategy. And the one, the only, Kip Russell, our Director of Social Media. Thank you all for taking the time and sharing your thoughts with us today. A couple of quick notes. You will notice the chat function is kind of disabled for today. For those of you who've been here before, you know we like to encourage you to put questions in the Q&A section. We'll monitor that throughout the conversation today. And then we have reserved some time here at the end to kind of dive in. So as you have questions, go ahead and throw them in there. We'll continue to take a look at those and we'll address them in the order received here at the end. Now, enough for me. I'll get out of the way. And without further ado, I will kick this thing off. Mark, let's get started.
All right. Thank you, Devin. We'll kick it off with the paid media section, and a key trend or theme for us heading into this year, well, obviously already into 2023, is going to be Performance Max. This is a new campaign type from Google, not actually new for 2023. This did launch back in 2021, but it's going to be a major trend this year because it is making inroads in a lot of account portfolios and just gaining more traction as we get this campaign type up and running for more and more clients. Now, this actually isn't even really a new campaign type in the sense that it's new inventory or new targeting types. Basically, it just kind of buckets together all the various campaign types that Google offers. You can see here, YouTube, display, paid search, on and on. Buckets it all into one campaign type to essentially get kind of a full funnel targeting approach and hit users at the various touch points, regardless of what inventory or app they're interacting with. The promise initially from Google was that this would work across all clients, across all industries. We haven't quite seen the success from it on the lead generation side from it in terms of improved cost per acquisition, incremental conversions. We haven't quite seen that come to fruition for some of our lead gen clients that have tested into PMax. But where it is a really great fit as of today is going to be e-commerce. So if you have any kind of online sales or online transactions happening and you're running, paid shopping ads, chances are you're actually probably already on Performance Max campaign type. All smart shopping campaigns were automatically upgraded, at least for our clients, all those were upgraded to Performance Max as smart shopping gets deprecated. You may still be on manual shopping. That's still an option. But again, I think a core trend or theme for this year is going to be split testing that. If you're still on manual shopping, potentially get some testing budget assigned for Performance Max, see if you can get some improvement in some of ROAS, incremental transactions, that sort of thing. And then on the lead gen side, again, a core theme this year, testing into this, seeing if we can refine and iterate through and get some optimized lead generation results coming out of Performance Max. Now, shifting gears a little bit into the next trend, we're going to take a look at some connected TV trends for 2023. And that's, of course, related to Netflix and Disney Plus, both launching their ad-supported subscription tiers. Now, this is obviously something that Hulu has been playing for a long time, and really Disney is going to have a leg up with some of that in regards to the fact that obviously they own Hulu. They have some of that historical data to run off of. Netflix, this is a brand new entry for them in the connected TV space. They're essentially having to build their ad stack and their audience targeting capabilities from the ground up. Now, we do call this premium media inventory. Everything that we've seen from the initial launch is that this is actually probably more of an ultra premium inventory. Netflix is looking at CPMs of around $60 to $65. Disney Plus maybe a little bit lower, around $50 to $55. And you compare that to what we generally consider connected TV premium CPMs of around 30 to 35. So certainly very expensive inventory at this stage, but of course you're going to want to get your creative to reflect that, get some high quality creative, high quality messaging if you are going to get some deals and some placement into this inventory. And again, a key trend or theme as we go through the year is going to be measuring, is that CPM going to decline as some of the initial buzz and hype from these, wanes? I know Netflix just launched in November, Disney Plus in December. So we're obviously just a couple months into both of these new inventories. So that'll be something certainly to track over time. But as it stands today, just a lot of excitement around some of the new connected TV targeting options. All right, and then lastly, for paid media, another key trend and focus for us this year is going to be enhanced conversions, a new kind of more robust conversion tracking option from Google. Now, this plays a small part into the cookieless future that we're anticipating. The latest data suggests that next year the cookie may be deprecated, and enhanced conversions for web will be one part of solving that and filling that gap. Basically, essentially just getting a more robust conversion tracking and measurement picture, because the conversion tag will now be sending hash anonymized data, user data from those conversion tags, getting that over to Google so that Google can kind of fill in the gaps and tie those back to signed in Google users when converting. Now, again, this does come in two flavors, enhanced conversions for web. Long-term is going to be more suitable for, again, maybe e-commerce clients or anyone that's tracking online conversions and online events. The other flavor that enhanced conversions comes in is enhanced conversions for leads. And this one is even a little bit more robust in that there's going to be some offline conversion integration going on with this one. So if you have a CRM and you have data, lead and data that's living in there, you can get uploading cadence for that, get that uploaded to Google. Google, again, will kind of fill in the gaps on some of that to help give, again, just a more robust conversion measurement and attribution picture. So again, e-com versus lead gen are going to be the main buckets. And again, just a core theme for this year is going to be getting ready for a potential cookieless future next year and making sure that our measurement and tracking is as accurate as possible. So that does wrap up all the three trends for paid media. I will go ahead and pass it to Taylor now to talk about some trends for SEO.
Thank you, Mark. So similar to paid efforts, a lot of the organic strategy for 2023 is also going to focus on optimizing performance and finding the right customers. And in the organic search space, that's really going to be rooted in these unique geo-targeted experiences, or what we call local search. All search is local search now, especially as desktop experience continues to play catch up to the mobile experience. We see some of that with the continuous scroll feature rolling out at the end of 2022. Something that users probably took note of as well at the end of the year was Google Business Profiles making their visual changes. So the map became larger. They increased the number of pins that show up on the map. They also moved the 3-pack to be just below the map as well and made it interactive. So users now have the ability to move around the map to get quick excerpts of reviews and see those 5-star ratings. Now, for small businesses, especially, making this map larger, more interactive, and increasing the number of pins ultimately means that the local search space just got even more competitive. So we take a lot of cues in the organic world from Google. It typically makes changes to reflect what they think the focus of organic search should be. So when we see these changes happening to the map, we know that that local experience is becoming increasingly more important. And a big indicator there was the rollout of the store locator embed feature. Now, if you have already had a dedicated dev team, you likely already have a custom map feature on your site and on your local pages, but this rollout is making it possible for more small businesses as well to participate in this. It also means that Google is going to get more stringent on those local page requirements. So having those map embed features, those interactive filterable maps existing both on your site as well as on those listings is going to be very important in 2023. Users ultimately want to know the brand even at a local level. And the way that users indicate that they know is that they are getting fast answers and ultimately that they can convert without necessarily having to have a human interaction. So look for ways that you can make it easier for users to get from point A to point B, especially within the actual Google listing. Something that Google has improved in that regard is expanding the number of industries that can schedule or reserve right there on the listing. They recently rolled that out to healthcare providers. If this isn't something that you have accessible on your listing right now, I would definitely keep an eye out throughout this year to see in what ways you can add these conversion points and if your industry is included in those future rollouts as well. Now, this is a great lead into natural intuitive search because it's really ultimately, when you talk about intuitive search, is being there for the specific action that the user ultimately wants to do. So providing that informational content when users are in the research phase and providing a place they can convert when they're in that purchase phase, right? So Google is also shifting some of that intuitive search to focus more on interaction. So wanting to create these clean user experiences. Search engines are starting to reflect that users need to be able to interact and feel confident in their answer and also the source of that answer itself. So providing this unique content that's well written and meets all of Google's new helpful content guidelines will be really important. From an organic search perspective, the way that we make that happen does require some back-end work, such as implementing schema. Schema is ultimately the way that you get smart results showing up on the search page. The most common smart result people will interact with now is the people also ask function. We're also starting to see increases in the smart FAQ results as well. So ultimately, everything is about providing answers in a way that's really easy and really quick for users to consume. Google has also added additional features such as the ability to broaden searches and refine searches. And on mobile devices specifically, users can now perform multi-searches, which allows them to combine an image search with a phrase to get these really unique drilled down search results. Ultimately, page requirement updates that Google rolled out over the course of 2022, especially in December, indicate that they are really starting to drill down on what makes a page a good page and how those technical implementations can really boost your presence in search. They do want to reduce low quality pages that go after keywords, for instance, but don't necessarily provide a lot of value. So ultimately making sure we're not just serving the bots, but actually serving our users as well and creating these authentic experiences. So as we look to do this, we need to make sure that our site structure is just as intent-based as the actual content and user experience we're building on the site. The best way we can ensure that users are getting what they want out of a page is making sure that we've set up the site correctly in terms of that structural foundation. So understanding your navigation choices and even the way that your links are set up, where content lives on your site. Google is constantly changing, so SEO is never a set it and forget it, but sites are rarely static themselves as well. We're constantly adding pages, deleting pages, discontinuing products, or making optimizations. So as Google changes and your website changes as well, you want to make sure that your strategy focuses both on the performance of the site as well as how you are going to perform in the search results themselves. Most users are going to interact with your site first on a search result page before they actually get into the website. So you have to make sure both of those experiences are clean and positive. Google has also shifted in that sense what they're reporting on. And so they're transitioned from Data Studio to Looker Studio. They also updated their reports in Google Search Console, and then they'll be sunsetting their current iteration of Google Analytics in favor of GA4 this summer. All of those changes are more focused on user experience and engagement metrics. Ultimately, the better the foundation of the site, the less time you'll spend fixing the site throughout the year, and the more time you can spend focusing on getting those first position rankings. The best way to support user paths on your site ultimately is to layer high quality content on top of them. So I'll pass it to Megan, who can talk to you about creating that winning content strategy.
Thanks, Taylor. So now we're going to talk about everybody's favorite topic right now, ChatGPT. Really though, if you've been following the buzz on ChatGPT, you've probably wondered, how does this affect the world and the future of content marketing? We've had some clients ask us, what is this tool and can we use it to generate content? And what we tell them is that Content AI is really not a replacement for content strategy, but rather it's a tool writers can use to work quicker and more efficiently. And while some of us might believe this is the end of professional writing as we know it, there's definitely been some debate about that. Others have really started to see its limitations, including the creators of ChatGPT themselves, who've even said it's really not ready to be relied upon for anything important. Among content marketers, there's been a bit of doom and gloom, but there's also been some excitement. And that excitement's really around how we can use these tools to overcome our common struggles like writer's block and overall streamline our writing processes. If we embrace AI as solely an ideation tool, we can use it for things like quickly generating synonyms, providing a short summary of information, and even producing ad copy variations. That allows us to focus our time on the portion of writing that we do best, which is really connecting with our audience and inspiring them to take action. So another top trend here for content strategy is around brand voice. Establishing a clear and consistent brand voice is pretty much table stakes at this point. With each generation, it gets harder and harder to grab their attention. We're having to evolve our digital marketing tactics and our messaging because our audience keeps getting better at avoiding our marketing. Today's consumers obviously crave connection. They want to see themselves in your content, and your brand voice is how they relate to you and recognize you. Building a brand voice that is warm and relatable is crucial to driving engagement, interest, and a personal connection with your audience. So if you were to cover up your logo on your website today, would you be able to give your audience a sense of who you are and what you stand for as a company? Brand voice can help you do that. Once you've made that connection, you're no longer having to compete for their attention because by that point, they're coming to you for information. One more key trend and strategy we implement here at SpanuTech is around content repurposing. So content repurposing means you're focusing less on new topics week after week, but instead you're using one piece of content to produce a variety of assets for your audience. If you take the topic of this webinar, for example, digital marketing trends for 2023, the content first started as a long form guide, which now you're experiencing as a webinar, but it will also be repurposed into a series of articles and social media posts. The goal of repurposing is to find the formats and mediums that are most meaningful to your audience so that you can repurpose that content for maximum consumption. So take a longer form piece of content you've created, cut it up into bite-sized pieces, and you'll stop spending time creating new content week after week. And instead, you'll find ways to drive engagement with your audience. With that, I'm going to pass it to Kip, who's going to talk about another form of short form content.
Thanks, Megan. Yeah, so, for the first time in a while, I can really say organic social media is back. And really the thing that's winning on this platform is short form vertical video. With the rise of TikTok, you've seen all the channels really adopt this as the primary vehicle for growing your accounts. And this is really an interesting time because it's the first time you can make one specific piece of content and share that across channels. You can post the same video on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Pinterest, and even Twitter's getting into the vertical video space. And you're seeing these videos go beyond your total following. This is really where you get into the For You page or to the discovery engine on Reels. And you're seeing, virality. So it's really organic is back in 2023. And there's a lot of upside to posting, specifically in posting the short form vertical video. A few ways we're helping our clients navigate the ability to create more of this content is partnering with creators, which we'll get into in another slide, and also doing quarterly shoots where we're developing content on a consistent basis. So a lot of good stuff going on here, and really there's some tried and true formats. While some of your brands need to experiment to learn how to win and have that brand voice translate on these platforms, the hook, provide value, offer type content structure is really working well across the board and even works well in paid ads. So, and moving into paid ads, we'll talk about what's working really well on social media. So similar to Google, post iOS 14, there's less interest in certain other targeting parameters. What we're seeing is Meta and other channels combating that with these new ad structures. One of them is Power 5, which you can see here on the right, which is a consolidated ad structure, and Advantage Plus, which is really their e-com version of Power 5. So simplification versus back in the day, you would set up ad accounts and have multiple ad sets and creatives in there. Now it's about consolidating that into one campaign, multiple lookalikes bundled into one ad set, and really focusing on that creative. Creative now is ultimately the most important optimization you can make once you've set these structures up really nicely. What are the hooks and the pain points you can speak to push your audience over the top to convert in this day and age? So again, 4 years ago, I would have said differently. You want to train the ad account and get the structures differently, but now it's about this consolidated format, really focusing on the creative, and that's where we're seeing across the board. And like many of you, when Meta, I think Power 5 and Advantage Plus rolled out the last few months of 2022, we test against it because there's always some skepticism when they're rolling out new things, but we're definitely seeing Power 5 and Advantage Plus setups winning across the board when we're testing them against sort of older strategies. So exciting time. And again, I think this is great moves by Meta to combat the loss of data on iOS 14. And I think leaning on that AI and machine learning, you're going to get better over time once you start to train your ad accounts on these new structures. Lastly, in terms of, again, vertical video and needing more creative in your ad accounts, a great thing you're seeing across the board and some really exciting areas in this is Walmart, Shopify, and Amazon. They're all going direct now. They're actually starting creator platforms where you can actually sign up as an influencer and get paid to make content for them. And I think the industry is going more this way, as vertical video is a harder thing to scale, to think about partnering with creators in different ways. So whether you need UGC content for your organic and paid channels, you can partner with smaller creators at scale to use those to supplement your organic and paid ads, or partnering with large influencers to make those one or two quality pieces of creative. Brands need to start thinking about creators as an extension of your creative team. How can we create partnerships of maybe 5 to 10 people that we really like, that can really translate and bring the product to life in that vertical, authentic type content? This is where the industry is going in the short term, as I think the vertical video, TikTok and Reels become the primary places to play and win organically. So with that being said, that's all for social. We'll jump into your questions and look forward to answering anything that you guys need more clarity on.
Awesome. Thank you, team. I appreciate that. All very valuable information. We do have a few questions here. I will start. My first couple here are actually for you, Mark. So I'll put you kind of on the spot here. First up, we have, will there be an option for video ads to run across Hulu and Disney Plus in a single platform, or are they starting out as different platforms?
Yes. So technically they are starting out as different platforms. Disney Plus, as of today, is really just very exclusive. I think invite only, more of a private marketplace type deal at the moment. But I do know that Disney is targeting to have Hulu and Disney Plus consolidated into one ad platform. They're calling it, I think, the Disney ad server or ad platform. And so, yeah, you'll be able to access both Hulu and Disney Plus, and I believe ESPN Plus and all their partners together in one platform. And there'll actually be a sharing of audience targeting between it. There'll be sharing of some proprietary ad formats like the pause and the binge ads that Hulu has licensed and marketed in the past. So yes, short term separate as of right now, but long term or around April of this year, they will be consolidated into one platform.
Awesome. Very exciting. Okay. Next up, Mark, we'll just keep you on the hot seat here just for the ease of efficiency here.
Sure.
What kind of implementation or development lift is required for the enhanced conversions that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, there's definitely not one size fits all for that. It's going to obviously depend again on those major buckets. Are you e-com or are you lead gen? And then from there, what does your conversion tracking look like as of today? If it's fairly accurate and in a good place, then you're probably looking obviously at a smaller developmental lift of, your analytics team or your web dev team to get that implemented. Maybe as little as just 5 hours of development time, depending on how many conversion tags and actions you're tracking. But if you're just starting from the ground up, or if you're looking for more of a robust OCI integrating into your Salesforce or whatever your CRM is, and you don't have any conversion tracking as of today, then yeah, you're certainly looking at more of a bigger lift from the analytics and web dev teams, maybe 20, 25 hours or more, depending on how much tracking you need to get in place.
Perfect. Awesome. Appreciate the insight. Next up, let's jump. Ms. Taylor, we've got a question here for you. Is there a difference on site when optimizing for the people also ask results versus the smart FAQ results, or are they the same?
Yeah, great question. They are similar in that both of them do require keyword optimized content with structural elements like your title tags and your meta tags. However, people also ask results. All content on your site is eligible for that. That is a smart type that Google essentially can scan from any page. The smart FAQ results, only your FAQ pages will be eligible for that because it does require the FAQ markup. The competitive advantage, however, to the smart FAQ results is that it only showcases one website at a time. So if you're able to achieve that result, it's a great way to take up space on the search result page.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Let's see. Last but not least, I think we got time for about one more, and then I think maybe we'll move to conclude here. So Kip, we'll let you take us out here. How important is production value for vertical videos on social? This is a great question. Is it better to have more polished or more of the kind of raw off the cut content?
Yeah, what we're seeing winning is that raw off the cuff. I think if you over polish a video in the new era, people are going to look at it as brand or ads, and they're going to skip over it quickly. There is a balance. If you can strike that, that's great. But what we're seeing is that more raw, felt like it's coming out of the cell phone stuff, outperform everything else.
Perfect. So having my daughter do more TikTok dances is good for the business.
Perfect. That's
okay.
That's the winning strategy right there.
Yeah. I mean, she's a pretty cute 8-year-old. All right. If there are any other questions, feel free to throw them in there. Otherwise, we'll kind of move here with just kind of the closing arguments, if you will. Just a reminder, we do have our second webinar of the year coming up February 28th. Modernizing your paid media strategy is the path back to profitability. Great topic. Our guy Kip will be back. He'll be partnering with Pat Hilgemeyer, which will be a wonderful topic. That's a good duo. So as a result of signing up for today's webinar, you will automatically be invited to that. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. Feel free to share it, invite others. We love sharing our team members' skill sets and knowledge base with everyone. So feel free to invite. Second, if we didn't get to your question or you think of something later, feel free to send that to us. You can email us at webinar@spinutech.com. We will get it to the appropriate team member and get you an answer in a timely fashion. Last but not least, for attending today, our kind of parting gift and our way to kind of kick off 2023 here, we will be sending you as well our 2023 Digital Marketing Trends Guide, which will go into a little bit more detail about some of the other things, not only the things we talked about today, but some additional topics as well. So keep your eyes out for that. Other than that, we appreciate you guys attending. Have a great rest of the week, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you all, and we'll talk to you soon.